Found out if you want to protect your home or your business, there is a range of possibilities out there to fit whatever your budget may be.
Do you know where Tom Brady was today?
I'm pleading the fifth on that. I know where I wish he was. If you remember the wires coming out from here, he had that. The aluminum foil was the reflector, which is this right here. Tara Mergener is in Washington with her phone ready for the announcement. The reason this bacteria is so dangerous is that it can make you sick just by touching it. I didn't get to play, and I came in here when they were doing that, and there was a huge line. I mean, not if I get it first, and I have it.
Except you stole it off his desk, and everybody in the newsroom's fighting over this thing.
I know, even Ted.
Todd,
I talked to Health and Welfare about this, and according to them, the counseling center owes Medicaid almost $290,000. The company allegedly broke the Medicaid agreement by having unqualified staff performing services, billing for partial care services provided outside the clinic, invalid treatment plans for patients, and duplicate billings. Health and Welfare notified the counseling center that the state would recoup the funds back in September. Now, the owner has appealed the decision, and a hearing is set for late April. Now, in the meantime, the business can provide services, but the billings for Medicaid services will be applied to the recoupment until the issue is resolved in that April hearing. Now, we tried to talk to someone from the counseling center today, but our call was not returned. Hold up in this house right behind me. I don't know if you can see the red brick house right there. I'm going around this bend, completely cutting that off. I'm basically lifting it up and giving it a life of its own. Well, that's exactly what fire officials are afraid that this wind will do with this fire. And John Crook joins us now. John, what must people do to protect their plants tonight? Planning and zoning probably will not be able to make a decision tonight. The fourth phase of the competition is to grab this charged hose, run 75 feet, and then hit a target. But 5 of those are fifth-year seniors, so they don't count. So we'll take those away. The low interest rate means that if you have good credit, you can get relatively inexpensive financing. Anyone entering this room should suit up with gloves, masks, the whole 9 yards. Such a cute little puppy with these big paws. Jessica, the investigation is a lot like this house that Darren Palmer was building. It just keeps getting bigger and bigger. And like the construction, the investment stopped dead in its tracks. The money, gone. I went to talk to Darren Palmer today to see what he had to say. I knocked on the door for 5 minutes, but there was no answer. I can see someone inside and I can see laundry on the sofa, but so far no one's coming to the door. Finally, we saw him in the window, and then he came to the door. Mr. Palmer?
Can I help you?
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't have a comment.
You don't want to say anything to the investors who lost money with you?
What I need you to do is contact Liberty Law Group,
Okay.
and I can give you the phone number if you'd like.
Sure, I'd love that. You don't want to tell your side of the story? This is your opportunity to tell everyone.
I will get my side of the story out.
Okay. Okay, since he won't talk, I called his attorney. She said they had no comment at this time. So here's what we know so far in this case. According to the Securities Bureau Chief out of Boise, Darren Palmer and the company affiliated with him, Trigon Group Incorporated, are being investigated. This scheme, or program as it's being called, could involve anywhere from $50 to $100 million and goes back about 10 years. Sources I talked to say that there could be up to 70 investors involved. Now, some of those investors did receive some payment over the years, but some of them did not receive anything. I talked to one investor who declined to go on camera. He says he's out about $1.5 million if you include the return he was promised when he invested. That's money he worked his whole life for. He's having to pick up the pieces and start all over, and many of these investors are. Here's how a Ponzi scheme works. The person or people at the top get new investors. When these new investors come in and they put their money in, the old investors are paid. Problem is, it's just like a house of cards. Sources tell Eyewitness News there was a meeting of the investors at which they were told to hold tight and everyone would get their money. But that hasn't happened. Now contractors have liens totaling $1.2 million against Darren Palmer's house in Canterbury, and his current residence is up for sale. What the investigation will uncover is who invested what, who knew what, and when. Is this a true Ponzi scheme, or is it just business gone bad in a bad economy? Right now we know that all the court action against Palmer is civil. Now we also know that he does not have a license to be investing other people's money. The investigation will find whether or not there was criminal activity and perhaps whether or not if any money was made on these investments, if that money was reported to the IRS. This is a big story. We'll definitely keep you posted on it. For Channel 3 Eyewitness News, I'm Mary Sturgill.
Found out if you want to protect your home or your business, there is a range of possibilities out there to fit whatever your budget may be.
Because of the recent rash of break-ins, phones at security companies have been ringing off the hook.
We don't live in the small community we used to. Some of the crime element is moving in, and so people are concerned. People want to be protected.
And according to the experts, there are several different options to protect yourself. First, you can get a security system.
And that's what we try to do, is customize a system that's going to give you peace of mind, help keep the bad guys out, and get the proper authorities rolling and coming to your house when you do have a problem.
Motion detectors, glass break detectors, and window and door alarms could give you that peace of mind you're looking for. But if you want to go really high-tech, you can add cameras so you can see and have video of anyone who tries to break in your house or business. That's how police were able to catch the people who broke into Teton Pharmacy, and those guys confessed to 30 other break-ins. So you can go with the basic system, and that's going to start you around $500. Or you can go the video camera route, where you can see just about everything, and that's going to run you anywhere from $1,500 to $4,000. But if that's not in your budget, there are less expensive steps that you can take to protect yourself. Just come here to your local hardware store and pick yourself up some motion sensor security lights. Those are going to run you about 40 bucks. Plus, you might want to pick up some deadbolts for the doors that you have that don't already have them. They run around $40 each. Invest in one of these cipher locks. The keypad here allows the door to lock behind you. It's going to cost around $150, and that brings your total to $230. But no matter which route you choose,
it's going to be an investment in your house
and your peace of mind.
If you do get a security system, there are a few things that you should know when you're looking for a company. You need to look for certified, qualified technicians, a company that's been around and knows what they're doing, and one that spends a lot of time training its technicians. I found a group of guys who may just have the best job in the world.
This is art in motion. And no, I'm not talking about the skiing, I'm talking about the skis. The guys at Igneous Skis in Jackson are taking the sport to a whole new level by making wooden skis. Not only are the skis beautiful, but their performance is spectacular as well.
Skis are all made as a pair, and this is one of the first steps in the layout process, is fitting all the parts together. Everything's done by hand. The idea is that if you fit everything by hand and all the parts fit together really well, they're not likely to ever come apart.
And believe me, these guys really put their skis and snowboards to the test.
I get to go out and ski every day on different pairs of skis and see how they perform. It's basically a bulletproof fabric, and this lays on top of the base to deflect any rock damage away from the structural fiberglass or the core of the ski. Since we're making them by hand and in small quantities, we spare no expense.
The process starts with an interview.
I'll talk to you about where you ride, how you ride, what you're expecting to get out of the ski. Everything we make is custom. There's nothing, there's no like stock or inventory on hand or anything. Every pair is made for a specific rider.
In addition to being completely tailored to the client and their style and level of skiing or boarding, each pair of skis or snowboard is made with love and precision.
Basically just taking off any little bit of base, extra little bit of base, some of the glue that gets left over.
So what do you want people to know about Igneous skis?
I don't know. I don't even know if I want people to know about Igneous skis, to be honest.
All joking aside, it is a balancing act between work and play.
I quit my job.
It's all about making the skis. I mean, that and getting to ride on them, you know, is just kind of like my payment is riding the skis that I make. Definitely no making money involved, really. More of a labor of love at this point.
If you're a ski bum, you just can't beat that life.
I quit my job. I'm free today.
If you want a pair of Igneous skis, they're going to cost you around $1,200, and you may have to wait a while since they are made by hand.